How's everybody doing, Rasmanites? Hope all is well. I've got another movie review for you today. We are going to be talking about Clint Eastwood's Gran Torino. Today, on the Razman's Reality. The plotline of the film is as follows. Decorated war veteran Walt Kowalski has just lost his wife, who was really the only close person in his life. He's he has cut himself off from all family and friendships because he was severely scarred by what he was asked to do and the actions that he took as a result of the Korean War. So in the course of the film, we see him unable to cope with that. His son and his wife tries to put him into a home, and he is not happy about that. And just has real problems accepting reality. He goes in for a doctor's checkup and learns that he's very, very sick. Throughout the film, he's seen coughing up blood, and he ignores it. He just doesn't know how to accept how sick he actually is. Father Johanovic, who was the priest that at the church that his wife visited on a regular basis, has been asked by his wife to continually check up on Walt and make sure Walt was okay. She wanted Walt to go into confession. Walt didn't want to do it, so those two butt heads throughout most of the first act of the film. Walt unwilling to do what his wife asked and go to confession and basically get all the weight off his shoulders of these horrible acts of war. The reason that the film is called Gran Torino is because Walt owns a 1972 mint condition Gran Torino. Gran Torino is a car. And he never really drives the Gran Torino anywhere. It's just a show car. But everyone in the neighborhood and in his family has always admired the car. They want the car, and yet he just lets the car sit. The neighborhood that Walt lives in is now a neighborhood dominated by the race known as Hmong. He is basically the only American left in the neighborhood and doesn't like the atmosphere that he's now in at all. Well, his neighbor, Tal B. Vane, is confronted one afternoon by his cousins, who are thugs in a local Hmong gang, and they basically try to force Hal to join them, and the way they do it is by forcing Hal to go through an initiation, which is him trying to steal Walt's Gran Torino. Well, needless to say, because he's kind of shy and reserved, Tal, he fails in this mission and is caught by Walt. And his family is a very traditional family, and they believe that Tal must pay back Walt for his sins of trying to steal his car. So Walt strikes up a friendship with Tal's sister, Sue. After saving her from a gang confrontation, there's two gangs in this neighborhood. There's the Hmong gang, which is the main focus, and there's also a black gang, and you only see reference to the black gang at the point of the film when Sue is confronted. So Sue's confronted, Walt sees it and sort of takes her under his wing after protecting her from the gang, saying, what are you doing with these losers? Don't go to this neighborhood. Well, they strike up a friendship, and he is invited to a party with a lot of food that just so happens to fall on his birthday, and that is where he gets to know Tao, the neighbor kid who tries to steal his Gran Torino. So the second half of the film is Walt opening up by allowing himself to be a mentor, male role model, and friend to this kid Tao. He gives this kid confidence in himself, he gives him a job, he gives him all kinds of direction. And it's just such a departure from the first act of the film. And I'm not going to spoil the ending of the film for anyone that hasn't seen it, but needless to say, his friendship with Tao, Walt's friendship with Tao, ends up shaping exactly who he is and what he becomes as the film draws to a close. The cinematography in this is perfect for the film's overall tone of a war veteran who doesn't know what to do with himself and a city and town dominated by gang warfare. It is very dark and very brooding and extremely, extremely well suited for the film. The thing that stands out in this film, though, is the acting. Clint Eastwood shows why he is a true legend in the world of film. His portrayal of Walt Klosky is just so believable and so deeply rooted. You really, honestly, truly forget that you're watching Clint Eastwood as you're immersed into this film, because you just believe that you're watching this man who's been so scarred and so cut off from life that he doesn't know what to do with himself. And then unexpectedly, through non-Americans, because that's a point I didn't really make clear, so I need to backtrack just a little bit. Walt spent his whole life as a maker of forts. He even gets angry in the beginning of the film at his son because his son is a foreign car salesman. So he's very pro-American, which is why the realization that he has throughout the film of the fact that you don't have to be born in America to be an American citizen is just absolutely fantastic. And despite the film being set in America, I can definitely say that it's a film that would reach all nationalities throughout the world. Eastwood brings such a vulnerability and believability to the character of Walt that I can't really put it into words. It's just something that you have to see for yourself. B. Vang, who plays Tao, is one of the best young actors that I've seen in a long, long time on film. As far as I know, he's unknown, at least to those of us in Region 1 and possibly Region 2. I don't know if he was known as an actor in his native country or not. But he plays an individual who was born and raised in America, so I don't know if that was something that he took on for the character or if it's a real life thing, because I have not seen any bonus features for this film, obviously, because I don't own it, although that is something that I want to change. Point being is that this is a very, very strong performance. He is so believable as this kid who is pulled in different directions and wants to do the right thing, but because everyone around him does the wrong thing, that's his age, he really doesn't know how to carry himself as an individual until he meets Walt. And he's just very believable as the shy, reserved kid that has no direction, no father figure in his life, to the man that Walt shapes him to be by the end of the film. Sorry if my angle just switched there, the phone rang. I give the film a solid 4 stars. This is reality according to the Razman. And Razman style, it's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.